bracket. And looks like those players are going to be SuperPie and Synnister. Synnister, if I'm not mistaken, going to be rocking some of the FGCs. I don't remember who exactly is their regular go-to. Um, but that does mean that it is going to be a aggressive, up in your face sort of brawl. Unless we're seeing the Ryu, then that'll be a little bit different. But no, we're going to be seeing the Ken versus the Wii Fit trainer. SuperPie might try to slow it down every now and again for the breathing, for the header, for the sun salutation. But overall, Synnister is going to try to maintain that nice, aggressive, up in your face gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely. And Wii Fit Trainer, one of those characters, man, that is just weird to fight. A lot of weird characters in this bracket today, you're not gonna lie. And first timers as well, seeing the Ken this time. I try to keep up, especially when it comes to making sure that Wii Fit Trainer does not get any type of room to be able to do, for example, that. Steroids or deep breathing, if you want to get colloquial about it. Just any type of hit from them after the deep breathing is going to be a pain in the ass for sure.
Overall, though, I can't blame you for trying to wait it out once it is online, and that's kind of what we're seeing from Synnister. But one mistake, and as you said, this is a very powerful tool, and all of a sudden, 9superpie able to go ahead and seal out that stock. Synnister looking for a little bit more damage with some of those headers and everything, but instead taking some damage of his own from the sun salutation and that soccer ball flying right at him. But we find the stock, you make a little bit of a misstep, and Ken is there to down tilt you.
Yep, steroids coming in one more time, deep breathing, and trying to do some damage on it, but not really taking full, well, for lack of a better word, advantage of it. And ow, wow, combination after the fact, actually taking up the 52. That was a neat conversion after the back here, actually going for the Hadouken for extra damage, and now short cut.
Ooh, sure, you can head right into that back end of the Coliseum right there. Now, at this point, only 65%, and now already getting started. A little bit of a whiff on the direction of the fireball, but still a cool 50%. I know Synnister ain't complaining about that.
Not. And we're definitely seeing the crescent kicks coming in. I believe they wanted a Tatsu for the other side. But hey, 104 and 2 stocks left. I mean, you take what you can get if you can. Back air, sending them onto the right. Deep breathing used on the outside. Soccer ball coming in. Medicine ball, however you want to call it. So that's a get off me option. And after the down tilt, just goes for the Shoryu one more time. That's another KO with that move. At just taking that first game as well.
That's the thing. Sometimes you got to be very considerate of the space that you take. Even if you are a character like Wii Fit that can go ahead and really tackle on some damage real quick, even with the breathing online, you still got to be very careful of who you are fighting up close and personal with.
Doing a tremendous job about it as well, intercepting whatever they need to.
And looks like we're going to be seeing the switch off of the Wii Fit. SuperPie saying, hey, you know what? The Wario is where it is at. Of course, this is the New Jersey, that tri-state area. You know I've seen plenty of Wario. Now, the question becomes, 9superpie, have you watched enough Wario to be absolutely nasty with it?
It kind of feels like it's going to be a little easier for Ken to actually make him combo food, but now this time, they're saying pretty much, hey, watch this, and just gets him up to 84 in the span of absolutely nothing. That being said, now Ken actually coming in with the combinations. Nothing that a slap in the face cannot fix from the side of Wario.
Yeah, and look at that. The focus go ahead and break free of the clap extension there. Now at this point, Wario doesn't even have to go off stage, just finds the stock off of the missed up B.
Actually going in for the second hit of the Nair. Oh man, actually going for the jab block reset as well. Get off me option onto the up special, already up to 45. All of that being extra credit.
Alright, Synnister playing very patient, just focusing on the footsie, saying, hey, I don't want to mess with you right now.
Now he kind of crispy with Wario now. Actually, the movements have been insane throughout the course of it. Actually using like the wave bounces onto the command grab, sending them onto the side, and barely getting the KO that time with the up special. He kind of cooking with Mario right now.
Just a little bit. Plus, we're about to have that full walk on deck. 530 on screen right now. not too much longer, and then all of a sudden you are ready to go ahead and blow him to smithereens. That being said, Synnister trying to fire back, but only gets the weak hit. That is a problem. But hey, if it didn't work the first time, you know what it is. Just go ahead and rinse, repeat. It'll work the second time.
Absolutely. What doesn't kill you usually succeeds in the second attempt, and that time it did work on that second attempt for sure. The Shoryuken had been pretty much the main tool to get KOs on the side of Synnister, so super important to continue to get those combinations in, rack up that damage, and be able to move. So that being said, we're hitting the late game stages of this second match, and Wario is already prepared with the big waft in the case that they might need it on this stock. The combination coming in that time, up tilt now. Nair 1, only hit it once. Nair 2, not quite going to be enough. Actually using up tilt to actually get some combinations in. Up air for 46. Kind of feels like one more of those nairs into an up tilt can be enough. But now we're seeing Ken's combinations coming in. And aerial Shoryuken for 107, not quite, misses the waft. So command grab that time for 106, and now sending him onto the outside. Beautiful edge guarding situation, double back airs on the side, looking clean with it. Super Pie forcing game 3.
Yeah, pulled the trigger a little bit early, but did not matter. Nonetheless, 9superpie able to go ahead, secure it out with that edge guard. That is the one nice thing, is Wario has some really consistent edge guarding tools. Meanwhile, all the Shotos have a really strugglesome form of recovery there.
Yeah, we're seeing it with the usages of the Tatsu, especially trying to move in a horizontal advantage state. It's so difficult for them to actually try to get going. The only thing that maybe you could try to mix up would be definitely like something like a focus attack and actually move a little forward. But it's not even that much movement that you get out of it. It could be some sort of mix-up, but again, difficult for them, and Super Pie recognized and capitalized, which is the important part.
Now, though, the important part becomes, what stage do you go to? What are you feeling going into this? And Synnister really taking some time to think on it, see what feels good here. And it's going to be small battlefield. Of course, you keep these nice, simple top blast zones that you've been really utilizing to kill off of. You bring in the stage nice and close, because Wario can still have a hard time contesting with a lot of the better close quarter combat characters like Ken.
We're seeing actually being effective within their box, however, Wario is, especially when using the forward tilts, specifically get enough spacing between them. And those nice combinations, especially after using the command grab, have been super important for them. What's going to be important is for Synnister to actually maintain those combinations on point, and whenever they get a hit in, get that same thing, conversions out of it. 90% already onto the Wario, and putting themselves in a situation where they are able to capitalize. Unfortunately, not quite going to hit with a Shoryu, but now edge guard situation sets themselves up. 1-2 combination, and the crescent kick not quite going to be enough.
Yeah, and this has allowed 9 super pie to live a little bit longer, but Synnister saying, hey, I don't like that you're holding on to that stock. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. This is, of course, the last game of this winner side, possibly, for these two, and this is to qualify into top 32, so this is one of the big ones.
Wholeheartedly agree, and you do not want to go into that losers bracket. A lot of killers on the bottom side. Not to say that on winner's side there aren't killers, but it's just a lot easier for you to know you have that cushion available to you to lose at least one set before continuing. But that's 2 Shoryus and 3 stocks for Ken. Super Pie all of a sudden in major trouble.
This can still be very doable. Of course, this is Wario that we're talking about, and at 5 minutes 26 seconds on the clock, you know what that means. Just a little bit more time, and the garlic will be locked and loaded. The ammunition will be in the tank, and he will be ready to fire off the nuke. Though right now, the only nuke that I'm seeing prep for is Synnister Shoryukens.
Speaking of, Yin with the great call out and a great prediction as well to actually call out that Shoryuken that was used one more time to seal the deal, and Synnister advances on to the next round. A pretty dominant showing for Super Pie on game number 2, but game 3 just looked like a download complete scenario.
That's the thing. Sometimes you switch over character to go ahead and get a better feel for the match. You just don't feel like your main is going to do it. And game two might go really well in your favor, but game three, you never know if the opponent is going to be adapting over to your playstyle.
Absolutely. As we're taking a look at the replay system, Tatsu actually trying to move a little forward and just catches him with the little elbow grease. With the Shoryu towards the end, steroids used on the outside one time, hula hoops also in the corner. And trying to survive as much as possible, but again, just using that down tilt and just being punished for it.
Personally, if I was hit by a Fire Fist, even one, I would pass away. So, you know, kind of impressive that 9superpie didn't die so many of the times that he got hit by it.
I completely agree. I would have been cooked, both figuratively and literally. And now Shoryu one more time, but that was time missing the mark. That kind of felt like it was shifting the momentum, but again, if at first you don't succeed, you throw out the Shoryu again to take away that stock. And then the beautiful edge guard situation from Wario, which is not this. That's a clean back air, but not exactly what I was referring to now. This time around, that was clean play all around. Now using that down air to set him up on the outside first, and then the double back air to seal the deal and force that game three.
It was just very immaculate understanding of Wario, and so it made it look like we're like, hey, this is not a secondary. This is a legitimate like main if they wanted it to be.
Wario sending him upwards, and then again, it just seems like there was a full download by Synnister. Well, a lot more patient play, and we're seeing it as right. That is one of the examples. Again, pretty much Wario going forward and, you know, Ken just stepping back and using their smaller range advantage in some of the moves to be able to actually get more aggressive with it.
Yeah, either way, though, the real king of the aggression is, of course, going to be that Street Fighter. Sinister's very own Ken. And now at this point, we are getting very close to that top 32 being filled out.